Hey, what's happening, YouTube? Welcome to my plant garden, and in today's video we're actually going to be talking about one very specific plant. We're going to be talking about this guy right here, the Florida Beauty. Now, the Florida Beauty is one of my personal favorite plants. It's also a plant which is incredibly popular online, but surprisingly, unlike other really popular plants online, be it the fiddle leaf fig, be it the variegated Monstera albo, be it the tetrasperma, the Swiss cheese plant. Surprisingly, there's very little information online about the Florida Beauty, or at least very little good information about the Florida Beauty. So there are 5, if not even more, varieties of philodendrons that people refer to as the Florida Beauty. You'll also probably be even more confused because a lot of people are going to refer to their Florida Beauties as Florida Ghosts, either because they just got misinformation and don't know any better, or if you go on Etsy, there's a lot of people selling plants as Florida Ghosts that are not Florida Ghosts. Why? Because it takes the price from like $70 to a couple $100, maybe even upwards of $400. So a lot of people either don't know any better or are dishonest trying to get more money out of their plants. And even trying to research this and learn more about it, it gets really confusing. So here's the best information that I found is the plant that you're most likely to come across is going to be the Philodendron Florida Beauty Variagata. This is a perennial plant of the Araceae family. Likes a pH of between 5 and 7. It is a climber, so it's great to have a stick or a moss pole for it to climb up. And it's best propagated in the mid to late summer in warmer conditions, and you can either take a stem cutting or you can take a shoot out of here. Now, as far as where the confusion comes in, some people say that there's only one Philodendron Pedatum and that the ghosts and variegatas are sports or offshoots of this. However, after digging into it a bit more, it appears there's a Philodendron Squamiferum, there's a Philodendron Pedatum, and then there's the hybrid, which is referred to as the Florida Beauty or the Florida Beauty Variegata. Now, the philodendron, how do we identify these? You know, a lot of people say you can look at the leaves and tell the difference. I actually don't find that to be the case. I would say some of these leaves look more like a pedatum, but have the color of a squamiferum. So I'm going to show you guys the best way to actually kind of tell the difference, and somebody on some plant forum kind of turned me onto this, but let me check my notes here. Okay, so when we're looking at, I don't know if the camera's going to, okay, you guys can you guys see the texture? Okay, there we go. Can you guys see those bumps on the stem? The stem is like kind of a reddish, maroonish, brownish color, and we have bumps on it. Now, this camera's not going to pick it up as well as I would like. I'll try to edit this video and put in a still shot showing the differences. But the Philodendron Squamiferum seems to have like a fuzzy or a hairy texture and a reddish color on the stems. Now, this one does have some texture, but it's not hairy or fuzzy. It's like bumps. It's like goosebumps. So the Squamiferum is going to have like a hairy or fuzzy texture that's very easy to tell the difference from the other two. The Philodendron Pedatum actually has a lack of what they call squamules, which is that kind of that fuzz on the stem. It's smooth. It may have some brown or reddish dots. And then you have the Florida Beauty Philodendron, or the Florida Beauty Variegata, which is, I'm pretty sure, what I have right here. And if we look at the stem on this one, you will have some textured bumps. So it's kind of a middle ground. You're not going to have the hairs that the Squamiferum has, and it's also not going to be completely smooth like the Pedatum. Let's see. I keep trying to see if we can get... Okay, that was perfect there. Okay, there we go. So you guys can kind of see those bumps. Not a fuzz, not smooth. Let's see. As far as like how to care for this plant, it likes bright indirect sunlight. Place it near a window that's good, gets a good amount of sunlight. If the plant gets too much light, the leaves will begin to yellow. If the plants are long and leggy, it's not getting enough light. And you can kind of see here mine. Mine kind of probably looks like it's leggy and yellow. But this leaf was actually a new growth. if any of you guys are plant people, I would love some advice. I was debating, I don't know if you guys can see here, this leaf has been kind of eaten away and is just barely kind of holding on. And then this leaf here has some damage as well. So I was definitely debating on just cutting off the end of this leaf here. And I was kind of contemplating maybe cutting off the tip of this leaf as well. Let me know what you guys think. This leaf, this new growth, is the absolute best leaf that we have. Oh, let me finish talking about the water before I get into the story of how I got this one. So this plant needs little water, but it does like high humidity, and it needs a free draining soil. Now let me tell you a little bit about this plant and how I got it. So I was at a local nursery, and they have a really cool indoor tropical plant area. Now, one of the first things that jumped out at me, they must have had somewhere between like 30 and 50 variegated albo monsteras, which if you guys are plant people, or shit, even if you guys aren't plant people, you've probably seen this plant on Instagram. It's incredibly popular. It's the big, monstera with the white leaves or the variegation. They go for hundreds, if not even thousands of dollars. And I just happened to stumble upon a ton of these in the nursery for $85. So I start loading up my cart with them. My girlfriend said they're tough to care for, so she's like, why don't you just start with one or two, and we'll come back if you wind up being able to take care of it. So anyhow, we pick up a couple of those plants, and then we walk over to the next aisle, and we start seeing Florida beauties. And my girlfriend knew I'd been on the lookout for them, so she was like, there's some Florida beauties. This lady who had gotten there before us and her boyfriend must have had, no life, 150 Florida beauties in their cart. Now these were smaller ones, right? It came in this pot. This plant's grown quite a bit since I got it. But there were only like 2, maybe 3 left that she hadn't taken, and they were in pretty bad shape. These were the best condition out of the ones that were left, so I just grabbed this one. Well, I get up to the counter at the end to check out, and the lady working the counter tells me, you can't buy any of these plants. And I'm like, what do you mean I can't buy any of these plants? She said, you can't buy anything from that room. Everything's reserved. Well, I know that's not the case, but I said, well, everything not in there isn't reserved. I was just shopping here last week. She said, well, anything without price tags you can't buy. Everything had price tags. So I was like, these all have price tags, but fine. So she starts taking, she tells me that the variegated Monstera albos have a wait list of a couple months, so I can't buy those, which I totally understand. So fine, take those away. This one was only like $8, which is really cheap. Online, something like this would probably go for at least 50. And we'll get into the prices that these go for. I feel like everybody is misidentifying or mislabeling their plants on Etsy, but pretty much anything called the Florida Beauty or called the Florida Ghost is going to go for anywhere from $70 to $150 on average, though you will see them for $300, $400, and $500 as well. Most of them are not actually Florida Ghosts, as a lot of people are calling them. But anyhow, I get up to the register, and I don't know if she kind of overlooked this one or I pointed out that this one did have a price tag, and so she did let me buy this one plant. And we've got a couple other things as well, but she did let me buy this one plant. And when I got this, this stem or leaf shoot wasn't here. This one was pretty much all it had was this leaf, and I don't even think this was unfurling. I think this was only to about here. So I've had this one for, I don't know, a couple weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. And we started having a new leaf growth as soon as I brought it home. I did wind up throwing up this light, this grow light, and you can definitely tell that it makes a big difference. Like my plants have started shooting off new growth like crazy. We got a tetrasperma here that's a new leaf. We also got a new leaf. Can you guys see that? We got a new leaf unfurling right there as well. I picked another one of these up from Costco, pretty good deal on it. And then we also have a new leaf. So ever since I've put these plants under this grow light, which I think was only about $50 on Amazon, they started unfurling like crazy. I did go to Home Depot the other day. I just wanted to get a little bit of light to supplement. And Home Depot had these little, do I got the box? Had these little grow light bulbs that you can put in any type of fixture for only a couple bucks. They say they're 60 watt. It's probably not super strong, but I just got like a cheap, like workshop lamp. I figure I could kind of clip it around, move it around here. And I'm just going to kind of add some supplemental light. I actually got to plug that one in. But this plant started already yesterday, within like an hour, started turning towards that light. So I do think they're doing something. But ever since I threw it under the light, it's been getting kind of a lot of growth. I love the look of this leaf. I love that kind of neon green, and I also kind of love like the shades, you know, the kind of variegation, right? You know, it almost looks like a watercolor painting, how you got dark greens and light greens and neon greens kind of all in here, as opposed to, you know, these older, more mature leaves, which are dark green. And I guess that's how these start out. They start out with very light leaves, and then as they mature, from what I hear, they start turning a darker green. But yeah, this is the Florida Beauty. I hope you guys took something away. You know, I've seen a couple, there's maybe 3-4 videos that I found on YouTube that are about Florida Beauties, but, you know, just not a ton of information, and nobody really clearly breaks down the difference between a Florida Beauty, or a Florida Beauty / Variagata, a Philodendron Pedatum, and a Philodendron Squamiferum. So hopefully this video kind of broke that down, gave you a better understanding. If you're in the market and thinking about buying one of these plants, you know, be very careful what you buy. Don't overpay for somebody calling something a Florida Ghost that's really just a Florida Beauty, because if so, you're overpaying. And again, remember, for care, this is a climbing plant, so once it starts getting a little bit bigger, get yourself a moss pole or a stick. Doesn't like a ton of water, but it does like humidity, and it likes bright, indirect light. I found it to be pretty easy to care for. So yeah, that's kind of all I really got. If you guys have any questions about this plant, about identifying your plants, anything like that, let me know. And either in the screenshot, the YouTube screenshot thumbnail, or somewhere in this video, I will make sure to edit in a couple pictures that kind of help you figure out which variety of Florida Beauty that you have. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If so, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, click that subscribe button below and ring the bell, and we'll catch you on the next video.